On this day in history, June 18th, 656, Ali becomes Caliph of the Rashidun Caliphate. Included in the following is an excerpt from the 1944 edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica going over the history of the Caliph. Ali, in full, Ali ben Abdul Talib, circa 600 to 661, the fourth of the Caliphs or successors of Muhammad, was born at Mecca about the year 600 AD. His father, Abdul Talib, was an uncle of the Prophet, and Ali himself was adopted by Muhammad and educated under his care. As a mere boy, he distinguished himself by being one of the first to declare his adhesion to the cause of Muhammad, who, some years afterwards, gave him his daughter, Fatima, in marriage. When Muhammad died without male issue, a few emigrants thought Ali to have the best claim to succeed him. Abu Bakr, Omar, and Othman, however, occupied this position before him, and it was not until 656 AD, after the murder of Othman, that he assumed the title of Caliph. Almost the first act of his reign was the suppression of a rebellion under Talha and Zubair, who were instigated by Aisha, Muhammad's widow, a bitter enemy of Ali, and one of his chief hindrances to his advancement to the caliphate. The rebel army was defeated at the Battle of the Camel, near Basra, the two generals being killed and Aisha taken prisoner. Ali soon afterwards made Kufa his capital. His next care was to get rid of his opposition of Muawiyah, who had established himself in Syria at the head of a numerous army. A prolonged battle took place in July 657 in the plain of Siffin, near the Euphrates. The fighting was, at first, it is said, in favor of Ali, when suddenly a number of the enemy, fixing copies of the Quran to the points of their spears, exclaimed that the matter ought to be settled by reference to this book, which forbids Muslims to shed each other's blood. The superstitious soldiers of Ali refused to fight any longer, and demanded that the issue be referred to arbitration. Abu Musa was appointed umpire of the part of Ali, and Amir ibn al-As, a veteran diplomatist, on the part of Muawiyah. It is said that Amir persuaded Abu Musa that it would be for the advantage of Islam that neither candidate should reign, and asked him to give his decision first. Abu Musa having proclaimed that he deposed both Ali and Muawiyah, Amir declared that he also deposed Ali and announced further that he invested Muawiyah with the caliphate. This treacherous decision, 658, greatly injured the cause of Ali, which was still further weakened by the loss of Egypt. After much indecisive fighting, Ali found his position so unsatisfactory that according to some historians he made an agreement with Muawiyah by which each retained his own dominions unmolested. It chanced, however, according to a legend, the details of which are quite uncertain, that 3 of the fanatic sect of Kharijites had made an agreement to assassinate Ali, Muawiyah, and Amir as the authors of the disastrous feuds among the faithful. The only victim of the plot was Ali, who died at Kufa, January 24th, 661, of the wound inflicted by a poisoned weapon. A splendid mosque called Masjid Ali was afterwards erected near the city, but the place of his burial is unknown. He had 8 wives after Fatima's death, and in all, it is said, 33 children, one of whom, Hassan, a son of Fatima, succeeded him in the caliphate. His descendants, by Fatima, are known as the Fatimites. The question of Ali's right to succeed the caliphate is an article of faith which divided the Mohammedan world into 2 great sects, the Sunnites and the Shiites, the former denying, and the latter affirming, his right. The Turks consequently hold his memory in abhorrence, whereas the Persians, who are generally Shias, venerate him as second only to the Prophet, call him the Lion of God, Shari-a-Khuda, and celebrate the anniversary of his martyrdom. Ali is described as a bold, noble, and generous man, the last and worthiest of the primitive Muslims, who imbibed his religious enthusiasm from companionship with the Prophet himself, and who followed to the last the simplicity of his example. It is maintained by the other school that his motives were throughout those of ambition rather than piety, and that, apart from the tragedy of his death, he would have been an insignificant figure in history.